Hey friends, Pastor Michael from Organic Church, here with Sydney Erickson, Don Reed, Beth Jarvis, Nick Offolter, and Pastor Roger Deerdorf. Yeah, so if I ever get to go back to Graceland, well...
Yeah, you got to find a way to make that happen.
Well, I could just go. I mean, it's whatever, but...
What city is it in?
Memphis, Tennessee.
That's what I thought.
But the problem with me going is it's not like I'm just going on the trip. I want to do all of the expensive tours. I want to do all of the stuff that I've never gotten to do. And then, like...
Where's your vacation money?
Well, I was going to say, the problem isn't just that, though. It's the souvenirs I bring home with me. Because now you can buy B&K jumpsuits at Graceland. Like, they've got them on mannequins. I'll take that one.
What if you waited a few years until Easton can go with you and can remember a
Easton
little bit?
could go with me now and remember all of it.
You think?
I know he could. That dude remembers he remembers stuff from when he was a baby.
My daughter was like that.
Yeah. Remembers everything. Yeah.
I like to go during Christmas.
Heck, I can barely remember.
Only done that once. Stole a light bulb. Don't tell anybody.
You've
but
already told that story.
Did I? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stole a blue light bulb right out of the fixture. That's a really cool experience. Yeah. Never been for his birthday, though. Never been for his birthday.
I was disappointed in the, because we stayed at the Graceland Hotel.
Was it the guest house at the time? Or was it still Heartbreak Hotel?
I don't remember. I kind of thought this was like a new hotel.
Yeah, it was probably the guest house.
It was really cool. And we ate at the restaurant that was in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Elvis would have ate anything on the menu. It was so like over the top.
Yeah.
Cuisine type.
Yeah. No, he wanted pork chops and collard greens.
I mean, there was nothing like that on the menu. It was just all real.
Wasn't Southern cooking.
Not good. No.
Yeah.
It was not good. We were highly disappointed.
Grits and greens.
Yeah. I stayed. So remember, it's been 15 years since I've been there. I only ever stayed at the Heartbreak Hotel. And at the time, whenever the Heartbreak was there, it was across the street and behind the plaza. So Graceland was here. You would go directly across the street, and it would be the plaza where the ticket booth was at, and all of the shops were there. Mm-hmm. And then behind that was the Heartbreak Hotel. But when you were driving back there, you actually got stopped at the security gate, and you had to give them your reservation number in order to get back to the hotel. And I remember one time, now they gave us, it wasn't stimulus money like during COVID, but they gave us a stimulus check of some sort way back in the day.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, but I think it was when Bush gave us a stimulus.
Maybe. I don't know.
So, yeah.
I just know that they gave me money that I had nothing to do with. And so I went to Graceland on a whim. No joke. I decided, I got in my car, buddy of mine. I was like, hey, you want to go on a trip? He's like, where are we going? I'm like, I don't know yet. He's like, well, what are you thinking? I'm like, Memphis? He's like, let's go. And we just drove to Memphis. That was what we did. So we pull up. The guy's like, hey, what's your reservation number? Said, we don't have one. He said, let me call the desk and see if they've got any rooms. He said, the only room that they have left is a suite. And it's the Jungle Room suite. Do you want to bet I was in heaven in that room? Green shag carpet, all the hardwood, like the live edge table. I mean, that place was legitimate. I met while we were there. So the lobby had it was an open lobby, but they had a bar, and then they had just like seating. And so we were hanging out downstairs before we were headed out for the day. And I met this lady. She was from Australia. Her name is Lynn. Her and I are still friends to this day. We exchanged Christmas cards, photos of my kids. Like, we're still friends. And she's like, oh, you're staying in the Jungle Room suite. So they came upstairs and they were hanging out. Now, this is not a joke. I wish all of this was made up, but it's not. So we hung out in that suite for, I can't tell you how long. And she goes, you know what? I got to do something. She sends her husband back to her room. They come back with Australian cigarettes. Have you ever had an Australian cigarette? You ain't never smoked a cigarette like an Australian. Holy smokes, those things are strong. Like a Marlboro Red's got nothing on an Australian cigarette.
So she wanted to smoke a cigarette in the jungle.
Well, it was really just more about, it was more about like the exchange of culture. So like they were hanging out with us and they had never been to the United States before. It was their first time ever coming to the United States. So
Wow.
Yeah. So we just kind of hung out in the room and it was really fun. We had a great time.
Oh my.
Great time.
I hope that she didn't think that all Americans are the way you are.
That's why she's never been back to America.
Lynn, if you're listening, we're sorry.
Oh, no, they're wonderful people. Yeah, it could be her.
Lynn.
We have her and her husband, David. owned like a parcel service where they delivered packages and whatnot. And I love talking to her because she tells me fun things like, it is so hot in the middle of Australia, you can't live there. So like they keep tearing down houses and building 2 houses in order for there to be enough housing for all of the people there because like the middle is so hot, you physically can't live there. Like it's just not populated in the center of Australia.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
Does the equator run?
That's what I was wondering.
I don't know. Also, and I'm sure you guys know this, but they celebrate Christmas in the summer months because they're below the equator, so they're the exact opposite of us. So they celebrate Christmas.
So they're below the equator.
Yes. So they celebrate Christmas in the summertime, and she will occasionally post pictures of the things that she finds in her garden. And I'm talking like lizards like you have never seen before.
Yeah.
Spiders and snakes and huge critters.
Huge.
And she said that like there are some seasons you just don't go out after dark because you don't walk under a tree because you don't know what's going to come out of that tree after you. Like that stuff is big and scary and gross. And people think koalas are cute too, and I guess they're not very nice.
I was going to say,
not
they're
nice.
mean.
Yeah, they're mean.
Yeah, mean little critters.
Really?
They look super cute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the first mistake. It looks cute. You try to pet it, and it gouges your eyeballs out.
Claw you to death.
Yep. Slowly but surely. And that's the kickoff of tonight's episode. We're going to do a series just called Attacked By, and we're going to tell all of our stories about the things.
I was attacked by a raccoon, but
Yeah. Were you really?
yeah, like 2.5 years ago
Really?
on River Road. So we named the raccoon River because it was a little.
Did you take it home?
I took it home,
Oh my gosh.
Well, no wonder he attacked you.
but then it escaped like in the night. It was in a little cage, and it was a baby one. And like it didn't have its mom, so we stopped, and it bit me later. So
When she says disappeared, that's with air
Yeah.
quotes, by the way.
no, I wish it would have been there that next morning because then I wouldn't have necessarily needed the shots that I had.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they could have tested him.
Yeah.
But he was gone. He
Yeah.
was like, get me out of here.
Yep. Well, they knew they were going to cut his head off. Oh, last Sunday we had a great conversation in the cafe prior to service starting. So 8:30 we do coffee club, and we just kind of hang out and we talk about life, weird stuff, typically like conspiracy theories and like end times, just really weird stuff. And Sid sent me a podcast. I think you sent me the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Lysol,
Okay.
but that was not the conversation that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Body brokering. Did you send me that
No,
one
I
about the funeral home?
No.
Oh, jeez.
I sent you the Lysol one.
You got blamed for it.
No, she got blamed for the Lysol one. No, the body brokering one, I don't know how I found it. Anyhow, body brokering is a thing in the United States that is perfectly legal. Okay? There's no license for it. You're not required to have any type of degree, but body brokering is perfectly legal. So what happens, a lot of times funeral homes, this has nothing to do with our topic tonight, but funeral homes will have you sign waivers and then they will sell your body parts. So for science. So like there may be a school.
For science.
Yeah. There may be a school looking for, like dental schools will take heads for doing dental work. And that's how they teach their students to do the dental work. And there are best practices and standard practices for body brokering, like shaving one's head before they mail it, because that.
Wait a minute. They're mailing this?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm not making this up. It is. You Google
Put it
it.
in a box.
Yeah. It's not quite like
Yes?
just. No, I was going to say, I don't think it's just like through the mail.
Well,
I think it's like DHL.
we do have cremated remains that we deliver, and like they have to tag that.
Yep.
But
Human?
I've never delivered any, but I've seen people deliver things, and they'll have them a lot of the times like up front with them, like this is their last ride or something, and they deliver them.
Kick them out into the mailbox.
Deliver them to their loved one. Yeah.
Anyhow, body brokering, perfectly legal in the United States. But the podcast was about a lady who did not do it quite so ethically. It was called Mesa something or other, and I wish I could remember. And I always want to say Mesa Verde, but that is from Better Call Saul, which as a Christian, don't watch that. I will admit that I did, but you should not. Do as I say, not as I do.
You went ahead for the rest of us.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah.
I previewed it. I am advocating that you not watch it. Anyhow, so she owned a funeral home, and she offered like $800 cremations, which was dirt cheap. And this was a fairly poor town that she lived in. And so a lot of people used her. But she always had you sign forms like blah, blah, blah. You would just sign. And then what she would do is she would chop up your family members and ship them off to people. And then when you asked for their cremated remains back, you would get multiple people in your box. Ta-da! Because the weight had to be a certain weight in order for it to shake out. But you'd get your little tag and you'd think it was your person. And then they found out that she had been like, this is not, I'm just telling you what the podcast said. I didn't see her do it. But she would use a Sawzall, a chainsaw, whatever it took to get the body parts off. And then she would mail them to places that were requesting those body parts. When she finally got caught, they did DNA testing on all of the human cremains who would allow them to. So there were a lot of people who said yes. There were some who said no. And they were finding 3 and 4 bodies inside of each of those boxes.
So she was separating them deliberately?
Well, because she couldn't deliver a full
just
body
wasn't
back
keep-
to you. Once she sold your head and your arm and your leg or whatever,
Yeah, you had to weigh so much.
the weight had to equal out to a certain amount. So what she would do is she had like a bucket of cinders and cat litter and weird stuff out back that she would just shake into your box. And then she would also not keep the crematory clean. So she would put your body in there with maybe 2 or 3 other bodies and just sweep it out, put you in the box, and send you back to your family.
Wow.
This sounds unethical to me.
Yeah, that's my point. The fact that you don't need a
Again?
license to do this.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
not responsible for that.
You
So-
haven't listened to that podcast.
No.
Yeah, I was obsessed with funeral home podcasts for a little while because we all know I like the funeral industry. But I think it's really fascinating to learn the stuff that they
Yeah.
do. Like I could tell you stories, but I'm not gonna, but I could.
Why does it have to be a certain weight?
Because you weigh a certain amount.
Yeah.
And so when I cremate you,
Yeah.
you will come out a certain weight. And so if it doesn't match, it's a red flag immediately. So she knows that. So she's going to make you match to the best of her ability so that she's not getting busted.
So is there a science behind that? Like, I weigh 170 pounds.
I would assume probably so. Yeah.
I bet somehow.
Or there's an average weight based on
Because-
bone density and things like that. Like,
you're a lot of liquid right now.
Yes.
But then like after you pass away and everything.
Yeah.
Then they
anyhow,
I will finally be skinny.
they melt it off. It just melts away, Beth. It just melts away. But yeah, so body brokering is a thing in the United States. But that was our conversation on Sunday morning
it
was
was.
about body
Yeah.
brokering, and then Lysol, which is a whole situation for me.
Yeah.
I'm
had no
actually
idea.
happy with the fact that I'm 44 years old.
And never knew that.
Never knew that. I think I could have went another 44 years.
Yep.
Hey, I just learned. Congratulations, Roger. By the way, congratulations. That the average lifespan of a man is only 77 years old in the United States now.
Hmm.
How old are you now?
I got 3 more years.
Oh, wait.
So did it decrease?
Thanks a lot.
And then it's off to
Jeez.
the choppers, buddy.
Yep. Seriously, I was told.
Terrible.
Yeah, I was told that that's the average.
And if, yeah.
What
Like-
did it used to be?
I don't know,
Oh.
but that it has gone down
39.
significantly.
Really?
Yeah, it has gone down
Well, I
significantly.
believe that.
Well, they say that our what's that called? Our
Expectancy.
Yeah, our life expectancy.
Yeah, they say it's like growing.
Well-
so
Not for men, apparently.
wow.
Apparently, we do all the stupid crap.
Well,
Seriously.
Yeah. Well, work with you.
Yeah, I know, right? Think about that though. At 77, the new life crisis has I'm in it. That means
Yeah.
I can buy all the jumpsuits and just call it a midlife crisis, right?
no, it doesn't.
Bummer. That's what I was hoping for.
Huh.
So there's all that just to say we've wasted 15 minutes of our listeners' time.
Well, we got to warm them up.
Right?
Yeah, right. I wish I could. I'm going to look for that podcast just so I could share it with everybody because I think honestly you should listen to it.
No.
I thought Beth.
No.
Beth.
It's not graphic.
No,
It's
no,
not graphic. It's very factual.
I was
Like
just looking at my son just said there
I mean, you got
where
to me.
he has those 3 condos. And
Uh-huh.
He thinks they just got wiped out.
oh no,
Is it hitting right now?
no! I thought it wasn't going to hit till overnight.
I think
That's
the
what I
surges.
thought.
Saying
I
that
think
that-
a lot of the surges are already the waves.
Oh.
The
Oh.
ocean's
Because
looking
it
pretty
was pretty
mean.
bad from the first one.
Yeah.
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 He said
Wow.
Yeah, my
It-
cousin has sent me some pictures. The ocean's looking pretty mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
he said so was it Sarasota they're at?
Mhm.
It's Lime.
Sanibel in that
Poseidon is angry.
area. Yes.
Poseidon is angry. No, it's probably King Triton because Ariel got legs and decided she wasn't going to be in the ocean no more.
Probably.
See, Ariel, thanks a lot. You didn't show up for the family reunion. All right, fine. We got to get an Apple podcast now.
You watch way too many Disney.
Blame my
But
daughter.
anyway, I thought you had to be a special person to be a funeral director.
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But
Yeah, didn't you?
Well,
Were
it
you
ta-
going to go to
it-
school?
It takes a special kind of.
Yeah, you do have to.
Like,
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
doing the
Embalming and stuff?
Yes.
No, to be doing this
To doing this
business you're
body
talking
broken-
about, body
brokering?
brokering.
Oh.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. Anybody can do that.
Yeah,
You could do it.
no,
You just have to find a way to get the body.
no.
I'm just saying,
Right.
there's no license to do it.
There's not a person dead enough that I can take a
That
chainsaw.
you
and
right.
Well, my thing is
Go to
is
work.
like, especially when you do that line of work every day,
Mhm.
when you are like, how can you even possibly
No,
fathom
there's no way.
cutting people up? And my thing is who's asking for arms and legs? Like, that's just weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah, I mean,
technology
well-
has gotten so good that surely we can create like a latex head with teeth in there that you could poke around in. And,
Problem is they don't want to spend
Well,
the
but-
money for that.
right, yeah, because
I
it's cheap to just buy a head severed off of a
On the
dead
black
body.
market?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on the black market. It's legal. It's legal. They can do
they-
this out in the open.
They own
You don't need arms
Amazon.
and legs for prosthetics.
No. Well, maybe. I guess maybe they make molds out of them. I don't know. It's freaking weird. That's all I know.
I'm not buying it.
I think it's called
Smell
cover up.
Study
going on
like
here.
for the veins and things like that. Maybe I don't know.
So they'd have to refrigerate it when they send it, right?
Just
Yeah.
dry ice.
Yeah, dry
That's
ice.
what- yeah.
I think it's called cover up. I'm trying to see.
But it was legal. Why cover it up?
Yeah.
Well, because she was hiding the fact that she wasn't returning the bodies. And that's really what this whole podcast is about her and the funeral home. Not so
Right.
much about the body brokering, but you learn so much because you have to understand what she's doing in order to understand
Yeah.
what was illegal about it.
Yeah.
What she was doing wasn't technically illegal, but the fact that she was not telling
So
people
not
that she was
telling
doing
families
that,
what she was
that
doing
was
to
illegal.
their family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you know they do that in Mexico. Those people that
Mhm.
want to get across the borders, they'll talk them into selling a kidney. And they get
Mhm.
into, not the best surgeons, and they're selling a kidney for money to.
Mm-hmm.
I probably
I've
got a kidney
heard that.
floating around over there.
Right when you had surgery.
I had my
yeah.
surgery in Tijuana.
I can't find it. I'm gonna find it for you. I'm gonna find it for you.
It's a wonder that year I wasn't under major investigation. I had been in Haiti in December and Tijuana in January.
Oh.
It's called Cover Up Body Brokers. You have to listen to it. I'm telling you,
Well, I know one person is going to listen to it now.
Margie.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Margie.
Is it one episode?
No, it's a series. It's
like
a
a
whole
series?
season. Yeah, it's a season.
Mm.
I'm telling
Have to
you.
hear about it.
I'm telling you. Listen to because you'll be fascinated with how much stuff that somebody can get away with. Like she got away with so much before they ever did anything to her because she was like a pillar in the community and she always sponsored a T-ball team and donated money for this and donated money for that. Everybody trusted her. Everybody thought she was on the up and up. And it was one of her like PR people that ended up like starting to squeal on her. And then her mom worked there and they would get into like physical altercations over the handling of the bodies. And it was a whole situation. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
The handing of the body.
Yes.
The
Okay.
handless body?
So, how does being a Christian impact you? How you care for the environment?
Not leaving
doing
body
that.
parts laying around.
There was also a whole. Do you guys remember the cover up of the funeral home in New York that their crematory was actually broken and they were just like burying the bodies in the backyard?
Mhm.
They got busted because somebody's dog dug up a body part and dragged it out to them. And they were given ground up chicken bones and kitty litter and ash and things like that. They
Yeah,
like
that
this.
wasn't too long ago.
Mm-mm. No, not at all. Not at all. Another thing you should never watch is the show called 6 Feet Under, although you do learn a lot about the funeral home industry, but don't watch it. I watched that one before I was saved. I tried to watch it again, couldn't do it.
Did
No,
you guys hear about the rug in Reynoldsburg?
I did. I don't know. I just know
I
that there
only
was a
heard-
rug buried.
Yeah, and they were like doing some landscaping, the homeowners, and they dug just a few inches, I think, and they found a rug, and they called the police and actually, no, they went on live first, like TikTok live. What should we
Well.
do? And people are like, call the police. So the police are coming as they're still on live. What's up?
Did they know that there was something in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no.
See, my understanding was just that they saw a rug and then it's assumed that there was a
looked
body
like-
rolled in a
yeah,
rug.
it looked
Right.
like there might be something in it by the sounds of it. And they brought dogs and everything, and the dogs were sniffing like they were marking and stuff, but there was nothing apparently. However, dogs can smell at least like up to 15 feet under.
Yes, but I'm also told that cadaver dogs aren't accurate.
Yes, I've heard that too.
That they can't actually smell dead bodies. What they smell, and I don't remember what it is, they smell a chemical that your body emits when you die, but there's no science behind. Like if you've been there for 3 years, that dog may never find you. You could be there for a month and that dog will never find you. So like there's some, but they have dogs that smell bed bugs. Did you know that? That's BS too. Like a dog that smells bed. Come on.
Hotel industry.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. that ain't a thing. You know how I know when somebody's got bed bugs, you see them. Like that's when you know.
Yeah.
That freaks me out.
What, bed bugs? Listen, I have rolled around in rooms, like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me a bit. Not even a little bit. You know how, like, you can get faced with infectious disease and not really blink? Like, somebody could poop on you and you don't blink. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, bed bugs, no big deal.
Yeah. Well, I think what gets me the most is, like, you go to a room and you find bed bugs and you're like, we're full. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, we check you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get your, I'll give you your money back. You can leave, but yeah, no, we would never do that. Like, we would never let somebody stay if we figured it out, if we knew. But I'll be honest with you, even in my line of work with high-end hotels and high-end cabins, you get them.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
We actually got to the point to where we went and bought our own heat treat equipment so we could just take care of them ourselves. And I'm telling you what, you want to talk about science? There's a science behind that, but holy smokes, you don't want to go in those units once you've heated them. Like it takes your breath away. They get so hot, 130 degrees, and I'm talking that's
damage your furniture
in the corners. A lot of times, like we don't leave any of the leather furniture in there when we do that stuff. If it's like genuine leather, it's worse on the cabin style units because the chinking that you put in between the wood beams will dry out and starts to split. So you have to fix a lot of that. We have had it warp LVT floors before. I mean, yeah, it'll wreck a unit, but
I mean, I know, like, we have patients, which we know have them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we schedule them the last appointment of the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as soon as they get off that elevator, we're booked into a room.
Yep.
We're not letting them sit out in that waiting room. And then that room is closed
My wife
until it's heated.
used to manage an apartment complex in Denison. I won't name the apartment complex,
No,
but there were always bed bugs there. There was one lady, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. My wife came home and she's like, hey, so-and-so has bed bugs again. Like, she said, like, you would open the door and you could scoop them up in your hand.
Oh,
there were so
wow.
many.
Wow.
And so they would take her out, treat the bed bugs. They bring the dog in first. I'm like, you can see them. Why do you need the dog? Like, I can tell you from 3 towns away that they've got bed bugs. Like,
Yeah.
so they would take her out. She would go stay with family. They would treat the apartment, and they would treat the 2 beside it, the 3 above, the 3 below. Because they just move,
Yeah.
right? So they just run.
They'll go right through the electrical
Right.
sockets.
So they would make sure that they treated all of that, and they did a fine job, and the bed bugs would be gone, and nobody else would get them. And then they'd bring the lady back. They'd put her back in her apartment, and within a week, she'd have them again. Do you know why?
The family had.
No, they were living in a freaking wheelchair.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't treat the wheelchair, so they would just take her out. So they're like crawling in her hair and on her body.
I've seen that.
Like there are so many of them that you can't. And they would just put her back in the apartment, and she would get them again.
Yep.
And it was the policy of the company that they treated the bed bugs. They paid for the treatment because they didn't want them to continue to be a problem. So the company knew, like, this is a low income property. Like, if we don't pay for it, they can't afford to, and we're always just going to have them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Couldn't get rid of them.
Yeah. That's what worries me with having rentals. So single dwelling, you can say, okay, it's your fault.
Mhm.
But if you have more
Yep.
than that,
You have no idea.
then you have no idea.
Yep.
So then it falls back on the landlords to
Mhm.
treat it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was an interesting job that she had, and I did not like it at all, if I can be completely honest with you. And it was really mainly because the company was a little bit iffy to begin with. Like, their application was like 86 pages or something like that. It was asinine. It was absolutely asinine. And nobody could ever get it right the first time. So then she would submit it, and, well, these pages were out of order, so they wouldn't accept it. And she would have to put the pages back in order, refax it, send it back. And you could hold up the process for days. Simple mistakes. Missed an initial here, missed a signature there. Anyhow, there was a lady that lived there who was an alcoholic, and, you know, everybody has their struggles, right? Like, it's whatever. But this lady was an alcoholic, and she had a dog in the house. Okay. Well, She's drunk 98% of the time, so she's not taking the dog outside. So the dog's inside doing its business on the floor, okay? And they had to do inspections monthly, quarterly, something like that. But anyhow, you'd knock and she wouldn't answer. And so she'd have to hang a notice on the door. And after 3 days, she would just go in and she would knock and the lady would be like, I'm sick. You can't come in right now. And Alyssa's like, I have to come in. I don't have a choice. She'd open the door and just smear poop across the carpet because the door's just dragging it across the floor. And then she would give her a notice like, hey, you have to clean this up. If you don't, we're going to come and do it, but we're going to charge you for it. The lady wasn't paying rent anyway. Yeah. Like, it didn't matter. It blows my mind that like those things even exist. How did we get there? How did we end up there? We're 25 minutes in.
Bed bugs.
Bed bugs. Yeah, bed bugs never bothered me.
Taking care of the environment.
Yes, taking care of
the environment.
Yes.
And all the creatures that God
Yes.
created.
Well, I will kill a bed bug. I will kill a frog. I will also kill a squirrel, by the way. If it runs out in front of me, I ain't dodging it. Sorry.
Oh, I'm not dodging.
You have to go home
I
now.
used
I'm
to
sorry.
Dodge, but I'm not dodging.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Like on the street by the way, how are there that many squirrels in
Something could
Dover?
be dead on the road.
I know,
If
Marty.
I accidentally hit it, I'm in trouble.
You killed it again.
Again.
Oh, I can remember hitting a possum one time, and it upset me so bad the thought of it laying there.
Yeah.
That
suffering.
ruined one of
I
our
turned
trips
around,
to
ran
Gettysburg.
over
You
it
told
again.
us that. Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing I ever hit, instant headache. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It upset me
does-
so bad I did. I just turned around and I ran over it again. 'Cause
See-
I couldn't stand the thought of it
The
suffering.
very first time I ever hit anything, I just got out, cut its body parts off, and sold it. That's a joke. I never did that.
It's a good thing they didn't do that when they hit you.
Yeah, no kidding, right? When I got hit by that car, got out, chopped off the body parts, sold them on eBay.
Use fair play.
Recycle, reuse, reduce.
Yes,
Recycled, reused.
we don't want to waste these body parts.
That's what happened when my grandma hit that one lady. They sold her body parts.
Your grandma's?
Oh, my grandma's body parts. No, but that's a true story. My grandma did hit someone.
Yes.
And she felt terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. It was like by the laundromat, the Claymont laundromat.
Mhm.
She was taking Noah to Trenton, I believe, early in
I
the
remember that.
Yeah, and I mean it was a person with disability, so they were walking when they shouldn't have been anyway, and yeah,
Terrible.
yeah.
And that's stuff that you can't control.
No, you
Do you
can't.
know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no.
No, but it's something that would haunt you.
yeah,
Oh,
forever,
yeah, for
forever
sure,
you would deal
for
with
Oh,
it.
yeah.
sure.
It'd be hard getting over
And at that time, she was still working where she retired from, and there was a lot of people that she worked with. I mean, the house that she worked at, like it was for people with disabilities, so
Yeah.
I'm sure she
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
always
Yes.
being reminded of it. But
Yep. So how do we care for the environment, y'all?
Killing them bed bugs.
Killing them bed bugs. Roger and I, well, more Roger than me, but I complain about it enough that Roger handles it. Roger cares for the environment by relocating groundhogs from the church.
yes, he does.
Yes.
They're church.
They're
church
church
ground-
goers.
First groundhog, so I take them to another church.
They're
Yeah.
church.
Yeah, we don't
Church
put them.
gophers.
Not the one next door. One.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
drop them off in the field across the street.
Yeah.
Like it's not. They don't drop them off in their yard to tear up their yard.
Yeah.
Drop-
No.
I take them up by my house.
Yeah. Just drop them off.
I put. They have a real nice field there, and there's some corn there, and
Yeah.
real nice grass for them.
Yeah, so that's how we care for the environment.
Are they 6 feet under?
No,
No.
no.
No, I let them go.
Yeah.
I let
It is.
The only time that we have ever threatened to kill an animal in the trap was the skunk. Because we didn't know what else to do. How are you going to let it out of there while it's alive?
with a Tyvek suit.
I was going to say, so Roger put on his hazmat suit and went for it.
You call Margie.
She'll get
It's
sprayed.
If you
Sweet
throw
talk,
something
and it would
over it,
never-
I tried that, but the wind was blowing the day that we were doing it. And so I had gone out because it was right in front of the side steps. So I had gone out that door and tried to throw a blanket over it, but the wind blew it back. And then it was like half on it. And I was like, well, I ain't going back out there to try to get it. So
I remember that Sunday that
Remy got
Remy-
sprayed. All the kids are, ah! You can smell it halfway through the building.
Rosalind's run through here. Remy Tim got sprayed.
Awful. It was a terrible, and it took days to get that smell out of the building. Days. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And when I even trap coons at home, with my chicken coop, I take them and I let them go.
They're much happier
unless
there.
they're mean to me. And when they're mean, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry. Sorry.
I really didn't want to do that.
Nick's like, I have to go home. Will you guys please stop?
I have a groundhog that I feed, and he is so
No.
fat, he can't hardly waddle across the yard anymore.
The dentist that I go to in Dover, they have a big field between them and the next building. And so when you're getting your teeth cleaned, you just lay there and you just watch the groundhogs play in the field. And I said to my hygienist one time, I'm like, man, we'd have a field day out here. Like just target practice. Just they're so destructive. Like they tear up everything.
Yeah.
You should see the holes in the backyard from those groundhogs. Like we're constantly trying to catch them because they just tear the place up.
Yeah, I filled all of them in but one, and I put the trap by it. And that little sucker, he weaseled his way up around the trap. So I blocked him off. So now he's got to go in the trap.
And we've learned they're not very smart critters. They'll come right out of that hole and pop right into the trap.
Yeah.
They're not very smart critters.
Oh man.
I don't feel bad for them.
And it road trip.
Okay, so I'm going to give an unpopular opinion. Should I say it?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
told you
You
earlier.
thought it, so you might as well
Yeah.
say it.
Well, here's the thing. This is not going to be a popular opinion. Maybe at this table, I don't know, but it's not going to be a popular opinion with listeners. I don't believe in global warming. I think it's BS. I'm not saying that the globe's not getting warmer, but I believe it's cyclical. I believe it will get warmer, and then it will get colder, and then it will get warmer, and it will get colder. We have not ever seen it to know it, right? Like, we don't know what's actually happening. I don't think that the world is going to come to an end because it's getting hot. I also think those of us who think that like green energy is going to become a thing, you're crazy. It's not going to kick off. It's almost impossible, right? Think about how many wind turbines you need to generate energy. You need fields and fields and fields of wind turbines to generate enough energy to power a city, right?
Right.
Now, hydroelectricity, maybe there's something there. But until we figured all of that out, guess what? Fossil fuels, baby.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
There's 13. I counted them tonight.
Panels.
13 rows
Okay.
of panels.
I learned what that is. It is an independent energy company who is supplying, they lease the land from the high school and they are supplying energy to the high school.
To the high school. It
Yeah,
said it
because
was going to save like millions, I think.
Okay.
for
Now
them.
I'm going to call BS.
And I didn't look into it, so
I'm going to call BS. So I installed $1 million wind turbine at one of my old hotels. $1 million. $1 million. Okay.
The
Put
one-
up a wind
the one
turbine.
in Philly?
Yes.
Okay.
So seriously, it was
Yeah.
it was a cool $1 million to build the turbine alone, and we also put solar panels on the backside of the building. There was, and I think it's like 3 panels shy of an acre or something like that, in order to not have to have certain regulations. Blah blah blah. Okay, you know how much money it saved me on my electric bill? $0. I was still paying an electric bill every month, and some of it was because really that wasn't an ideal place for a wind turbine. But solar panels, you need so many to generate enough electricity. Not just that, but if you don't install the power bank where you can store the energy to reuse it, like you're just using it live, well, guess what? During the day when the sun is out and you're sucking that up, there's nobody in the stinking hotel.
Yeah.
You're not running anything, right? And then at night when the place is full, well, guess what?
Yeah.
I have no energy.
I listened to a podcast like similar to that about the power bank.
Save nothing.
Yeah.
I thought there was battery banks in that one.
Nope. No battery banks. We did not install battery banks when we did that.
That was dumb.
I know.
Well,
But
how
that was
much-
probably another $1 million.
Well, yeah.
And it was going to have to be external. It wasn't going to be able to be inside of
See,
the...
I think it looks like they built another building back in behind. If you look where they trenched,
No.
Mm-mm.
you're
Telling you. I'm
There's a Times Reporter article from yesterday
about
about it.
that turbine?
Yeah.
Really?
The high school one?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
about the solar panels.
The solar panels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only
I
Times Reporter article you ever saw about the wind turbine was when we almost got
when
arrested
you
for
went
putting
to
it
jail.
up. Putting it up.
You're just going to go to jail.
Why?
Oh, well, okay. So we'll tell the story. So my owner was incredibly wealthy. Money was no object to him. And he put up the turbine because he wanted the tax credit. He actually built 3 at the same time. So it was $3 million we invested in clean energy. And we went to the city of New Philadelphia and we asked for a building permit for the wind turbine. Now, we knew that they did not want us to build a wind turbine. They were very clear with us that they were not going to allow us to build one. However, the director, the city service director or whatever who issues the building permit said, there are no ordinances regarding wind turbines, so I cannot issue you a permit. Got it. He wrote that in an email. We went to the state of Ohio. We got our building permit from the state of Ohio. We started building the turbine. We had the crane come, and we were getting ready to start craning up the cap, the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes every police officer they had. And this is not a joke, in the whole town. I mean, we're in full-blown like standoff mode. They've got the cap up in the air with the blades on it, ready to put it on.
Michael's like, I'm going to jail again.
And they said, if you move that crane, you're all going to jail. And I'm like, well, let's go. It's up in the air. I'll go to jail, but we can't not finish putting it up.
Yeah.
And so we get into a heated debate, and the police chief, Mr. Goodwin, he was seriously ready to put every one of us in jail. Like, there was not a joke to him. So we agreed that we would lower it back down, but they had to allow us to put a piece of plywood on the top, because if the winds were to come and funnel inside of that thing, it'd just rip it apart. It was just going to make an absolute mess. So they did allow us to put a really thick piece of plywood on the top. They didn't, try to put any of us in jail. But they sat there the remainder of the day to make sure that we didn't work on that turbine. And then we hired a high-profile lawyer from Cleveland who came down and just mopped the floor with them because they refused to issue us a permit.
Oh, I would have sued for cost of
Dude, they ate it, man. And you know what it cost us? $250, the price of a permit. We paid $250, the price of the permit. And then they ended up, I don't know what they ended up giving my owner as a settlement for it. But I mean, we beat this. But the best part of that whole story is, so we all had to go to court. So we roll up to court. We all park on the street. Every one of us come out to a parking ticket. Every one of us came out to a parking ticket. They said we were parked on the curb. Like, if your tires touch the curb in Philly, they can write you a parking ticket.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Every one of us had a parking ticket. Oh, the best part of that story is the night that they threatened to arrest us all, our attorney talked to the police chief, and he told him to get off of our property. Like, he had no right to be there. It was private property. We didn't want the vehicles parked on our property, yada, yada, yada. And he told the attorney that if there's an emergency, that they're not going to respond because we've ordered him off the property. And he said, no, I'm telling you, you can't have officers sitting on the property. I'm telling you that if you want to sit on the street, that's fine, but we don't want you sitting on our property because it makes it look as though we're doing something illegal, and we're not. Long and short, I went to the Times Reporter Gala that night. So I was at the Performing Arts Center, and I get a phone call while I'm inside, and it's my night auditor. And there's a guy threatening him at the front desk, and he called the police department, and they refused to come. So I called the sheriff's department. The sheriff sent a deputy out, and 15 minutes later, I'm getting a call from the chief of police. We're so sorry. That was a mistake. We should have. I said, yes, you should have. I said, and you'll pay dearly for that. And I hung up on him. And that was all part of the court case. Like, I mean, we just ate them alive. Anyhow.
Wow.
City of New Philadelphia, what are you going to do? And I hold no, like, the mayor didn't want the turbine because it's unsightly. I'll agree. That thing is ugly as homemade sin when you drive by. But, like, why make it difficult? Right? Like, it was going up one way or another. They didn't have any laws against it, so it was going to go up. But just made them look bad.
I had a friend, they had chicken barns, and they put one up, and they very rarely used it because he said the maintenance and repairs was more expensive than what he saved.
Yep. And so I'm not saying any of that to say that we shouldn't be caring for the environment, but I think the clean water, I think that's important. I don't think the trash that we throw in the ocean, that's a whole problem. But I don't think banning plastic straws is solving the problem, right?
Right. No.
Like, and if California bans plastic bags and plastic straws, what good is that doing if everybody else is still using plastic bags and plastic straws?
Right.
And I feel like, we try to justify what we're doing, but it doesn't make good sense. And we're called to do what's right and what's good and what's just. But without logic, it's just what? You know what I mean? It's wasteful. You're not really solving any problems. Have you ever gone to the zoo and they don't give you a lid or a straw? Because people will drop them and then the animals get them and choke on them. You ever seen that? Yeah. What about all the other crap people throw on the ground?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody help me understand this, because we're allowed to carry in candy bars and drop our wrappers on the ground, and then the birds eat those and choke on those. And like, I don't understand the logic.
Everybody just likes to make a rule.
Yep. You can't outlaw stupid.
You can't fix it either.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
My wife's been trying for 13 years. Epic fail.
Well, I think in one way or another, God has always given humans, because we're the stewards of the earth,
Mhm.
to take care of everything. That's one of our main purposes.
You reading my
I
notes?
know my Bible a little bit.
That's funny.
But so I think essentially, yeah, he gave us everything we needed to take care of the earth from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But us being humans, we just can't be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
And that's the
We
whole
keep
problem.
Creating
that's
things
why
and
Well,
we just can't.
our nature, the fleshly nature, is to be sinful.
Yeah.
And so we do things, we create things. And again, it's all about that instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how many of us drink from glass now? Most of us drink from plastic or
Right.
disposable
Yeah.
cups. I'm sitting here drinking a cup of coffee that could be in a real cup, but instead it's in a disposable cup because I can throw this away. I don't have to wash it.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Paper plates, plastic cutlery, all of those things. All of that's bad for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
We've just became lazy.
Right.
Yes.
Well, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Everything is such fast pace.
yes.
Yeah,
That we don't
convenience
want
is
to
a
slow
killer.
down and
Yeah.
take care of
But
things.
it's the instant gratification at the end of the day. Like, I want to be able to go to McDonald's and get a burger, get it quick, and then I don't care. Like, I got a paper bag and a wax wrapper and a cup with a straw on it, a lid and a straw. I don't care what happens to that once I throw it in the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
What McDonald's do you go to that get it fast?
Well, okay, valid argument.
Not this one.
But-
Get it fast and right.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But most of the time, I can't complain. My orders have been right. Although, went to Wendy's today. Can I complain? I'm gonna complain. Went to Wendy's today and I got a biggie bag. They're not $5
they're
anymore.
Like $6 or $7.
Yeah,
now.
$6. I got a double stack. Asked for it plain. Was not plain. Okay, whatever. No big deal. Ask for vanilla Coke. They don't have any. Get a regular Coke. I would have gone to McDonald's if I wanted a regular Coke, right? I only went to Wendy's because I wanted a vanilla Coke. And I almost told her when she said, "Oh, sorry, we're out of vanilla." I almost said, "Never mind. I'll go to McDonald's," because I really prefer a McDonald's Coke. I spent $6. I got 4 chicken nuggets, a burger that was wrong, and a small drink that was all ice. I was like, how disappointing is this?
And then your fries were probably like golden.
No. So the fries were, they were okay. But the actual fries were bad. Like, they had like weird black spots on them. Like, they were okay.
They need to change the oil.
They were okay, but they weren't great.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I say all of that to say we continue to go back to those places, don't we? Even when they
Yes.
screw up our
Yes, they
menu.
do.
Well, I was going to say, I'm kind of surprised because Wendy's is really the only place I trust anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
I was pretty
I don't eat
confident.
at McDonald's.
I was pretty confident I
All
was going to
day.
be good, but I was
Yeah.
wrong.
They're
But-
usually pretty good.
Fast, it is fast for me because I order on my mobile app before I go.
Oh, well, see.
So when I get there, I just turn on a show on the Tesla and tell them I'm there, and here they come with my food.
Do-do-do.
Well, and as humans, I think we're supposed to get up in the morning and our thoughts should be, okay, how am I going to take care of the earth today? How am I going to take care of God's plan? All of those things. And we do the exact opposite. We go, okay, how am I going to make money today?
How am I going to make it easier on myself?
Easier on myself, all these things. And we worry about the environment last.
Yep.
We
We don't even
and
worry
yet-
about it, most people.
Yeah, and it can be a big topic in politics and things like that. But at the end of the day, you think, yeah, okay, so you want to spend billions of dollars for green energy and all these other projects, but we're still going to be lazy. We're still going to do all the things that we normally do. So what's the point?
So my Tesla, just as a fun fact about it, you cannot charge it to 100% regularly. You'll wear out the batteries. So you're only supposed to charge it to 80% for daily driving. If you know you're going on a trip, you charge it to 100%. Okay? Make sense? Here's the problem. There are some people who charge to 100% every day. They don't give a rat's butt. You know what I mean? And then the problem is they wear out that car, they wear out the batteries, and where do those batteries end up? In a landfill.
Mhm.
Like, you can create all of the green energy stuff that you want. You can try to get people to conserve energy. Every time it gets super hot, Dover sends an email or posts on Facebook or whatever, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with the grid, but we ask that you reduce your energy consumption so that we can continue to get low energy rates. Do you think, out of a percentage, what percentage of people do you think are actually doing that in the city of Dover?
0.5.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. They don't care.
Yeah.
They'll just complain when the electric bill goes up. They don't care.
Mhm.
And that's the way it's going to be regardless of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because the flesh is going to continue to only want what the flesh wants.
Right.
Yep.
Convenience.
Yep. Yeah.
The best way, never mind. It wasn't nice, so I'm just not going to say it.
Well, you always start something.
I know.
Finish it.
I know. The best way to save the earth is to get rid of all the stupid people.
Yeah.
But the problem is I probably am in that list, so here we go.
Can we start with the body broker? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I think that'd be a fair
Right.
fair trade. And that's another part of the problem with the world that we're in now is that we're reproducing faster than really the world can keep up with.
Right.
I saw some estimate that like right now there are X amount of farmers in the state of Texas and they're expected to feed X amount of people. And that's going to like quadruple over the next 10 years. That's nuts to think that they're going to be responsible for feeding quadruple the number of people. And the problem is we're going to see droughts. We're going to see like there's going to be hardship that allows those farmers to not be able to feed those people. So then we start buying produce and corn from overseas and, you know, whatever in order to feed America.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they can't feed their own people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, not to mention they're going to be growing, so they're going to have to start building more homes and
Yes.
houses, and that's
Yep.
just going to
Take
take up
out
more land that
land.
they're not going
Yep.
to be able to farm from.
I have to be honest, though. It's always blown my mind when I'm, driving in the country or you see just miles of cornfields
Mm-hmm.
and you think, how can anybody be going hungry?
Well, apparently they do.
Because that's animal corn.
And that's another weird thing to me.
Blows my mind.
Why are we growing animal corn? Why are we growing?
Because they need food so we can eat them.
Well, okay, all right.
It's a vicious cycle.
I don't disagree with that. But what animal has to be fed grain? What animal has to be fed grain? Because you can set a horse out to pasture and it will eat
Yeah.
whatever. A goat, a pig will literally devour a human body. Like they will eat anything.
Gluten-free
Yeah.
cows and
Okay.
horses and
Right. Okay. So stop using Lysol and we won't have those issues. Am I right? I think I'm
Yep,
right. I
yep.
think I'm right.
Yeah.
Our incessant desire to sanitize has created what's the word that they use?
yeah, like
Autoimmune
freak out.
disorders.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because we can't just get sick. We can't just
No, it's not allowed.
right.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, again,
Especially after COVID.
everybody sitting in this room, how many of us have a peanut allergy?
No.
No?
My family does, but I don't.
Okay. Where at in the
Oh, they're high.
but are they like older or are they younger?
Oh, they're older.
They're
Well,
older.
my daughter's got a peanut allergy too.
Okay.
She's 30s.
So
But your brother does, and he's younger.
My brother's 50.
So that's rare for older people to have, I mean, even 50s to have peanut allergies. You know what I mean? Like that's a fairly new thing. Like my kids can't take a peanut butter sandwich to school with them because they might make somebody else sick. That's nuts.
Mhm.
They used to serve peanut butter for lunch.
Mhm.
With
Like-
your chili.
But the problem is like we don't subject our kids to those types of things
Right.
because it's not healthy. And then our bodies don't know how to react when we
Then-
get those things.
Yeah.
Right.
So then in return, you're not healthy.
Right.
Your body's
Not
not building up
exposing
any
them.
defense.
Yeah.
Right. One of the best things that we could do
Eat dirt.
for the yes,
Right.
just rub dirt in it. Just
God made
rub dirt in it.
Don't hurt
Yeah.
you.
Like shut the country down because of a virus.
What?
Shut
Yes.
the country down
I
because
know.
of a virus.
And I'm not like I don't want to get into COVID because that's a really touchy subject, but like we were forced to close the church. I would have never closed this church. I would have never closed the doors of this building, but we were forced to. And then when I said we're going to open back up, my direct supervisor called me. He's like, whoa, you're putting the cart before the horse. You haven't gotten the green light to open again. And I said, right, but I don't really care because at this point, like the lockdown is over. There's no
Everyone else-
legal
yeah.
reason for me not to be gathering with my people.
Mhm.
And so then we go into a Zoom call with our entire region or whatever it was called back in the day. And they said, if you feel confident in opening, if you've done all of the things to keep your people safe and you feel confident opening, do it. And I unmuted my microphone and I said, hey, real quick, before we move past this, what I'm hearing you say is I can open my building. And he said, yes. And I said, okay. Now,
Click. I'm gone.
no, I said, I want to be clear because my direct supervisor told me that it is not in my best interest to open. The last thing I want to be known for is being known for the guy that rocks the boat.
Right.
Like I open my building, they don't open their building. Their people start coming here and then now everybody's mad at each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
And he chimed in, well, I never said you shouldn't open. And I'm like, okay, well, we remember it differently. And I wasn't mad at him for it, but I didn't understand it because at that point, my opinion, this is opinion, okay? umbrella of grace, herd immunity needed to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Like, we needed to get it and share it, and like, people were going to die.
Absolutely.
It's
Yes.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
Like, it is
very
unfortunate, but people are going to die from lots of things, right? Like,
How many
Yes.
people 10 years ago? How many people died of pneumonia
yeah, I don't know.
or
Or
influenza?
just- yeah.
A lot, right?
know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people that died.
And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not trying to diminish what it was, but I'm saying that at some point, like, we were going to have to do something. We couldn't,
Yeah, we couldn't stay
we couldn't
apart
hide.
forever.
Yeah, we couldn't
right.
hide forever.
Yeah.
And then when they're like 3 weeks to flatten the curve, and then pretty soon we're like darn near a year, and we're all still hiding from each other.
Yeah.
And then I think that's also created a certain level of laziness in the world. Like DoorDash,
Yeah.
count me in. I'll DoorDash my dinner any night of the week now.
Yeah.
Like, there are some things that,
But I think it's even the simple things as the cold and things that our children, have immunities to because
Yep.
they've been in the schools.
Yep.
They've lost that.
yes. Yeah. Like, my kids, like, we want our kids to get sick. Now, I don't want pukey kids because nobody wants to deal with that, but I will. Like, I would rather that than everybody be, when somebody does get sick, it's life-threatening because we haven't ever had the cold or
Yeah.
Right.
whatever. Most of us in this room would remember that when one of us had chicken pox, your parents would send you to play with the other one because
Absolutely. Let's
they
all
want
get it.
everybody to get it, so we're done with it, right?
Yes. Yep.
We don't do that crap anymore. Now we're like, oh, we can't play with Jimmy because he has chicken pox. He's got hand, foot, and mouth. He's got whatever. Listen, our neighbors texted us today and they said, hey, we just wanted to let you know that 2 of us tested for COVID and the kids were over here yesterday. We're like, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Because what are we going to do? Like, if they're going to get it, they're going to get it. They've already been exposed, right?
Yeah.
Can't stop it now.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't stop feeling.
Although I did keep Jarvie grounded to the bedroom.
Did it work?
It did. I didn't get it. So
Or maybe you did.
Seth and Maggie would get
symptoms
on me
just weren't-
because
no,
when we
I
go
actually
into a
tested
restaurant,
because work was on me hard.
But even then, not every strand tests with the
Right,
COVID test
right,
anmore
right.
because
Right.
there's so many
There's
variants.
so many
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyhow, go ahead, Nick. Something
Seth
about
and Maggie get mad at me when we go to a restaurant because I'll actually open the door with my hand.
Mm.
And I'm like,
I'll lick the floor of a McDonald's
I'm an
bathroom.
80s
I
kid.
don't
Wait.
care.
yeah. I was like,
Because
I'm gonna
here's the
get
thing.
sick, I'm going to get sick.
Right.
It's-
If I open that door, I'm probably going to get sick. Okay, if I go to my table, somebody has likely sneezed or snotted on that table, and I can tell you at the Texas Roadhouse, they don't wipe those tables properly,
No.
right? They're not we know that Lysol has to sit for 10 to 15 minutes in order for it to be effective.
Mhm.
And I can tell you they're not doing that. So
And also, it was a major birth control method, apparently.
didn't work.
Did not work.
Just made people sick. Very
Lysol
sick.
is a birth control method.
Yes. So when
Let's not go there. I don't even want to know.
when birth control wasn't readily available in the United States before the pill, I'm going to try to PG this, so everybody who's listening, don't freak out. So it wasn't readily available. Lysol would encourage women to use it internally after
Intercourse.
intercourse in order to kill the germs, as they would call it.
Mhm.
And instead, it was just making them sick and causing cancer.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it was making them sick. Like,
Yeah.
definitely.
So there you go.
Wow.
That's another Sid podcast. That's Sid's fault. That one's Sid's fault.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I seen the latest invention. Well, it's probably been around. And I just happened to see it. We were down in Gatlinburg, and this restaurant had a kick plate,
Mhm.
a little thing that came out on the
You
door.
grab it with
Oh,
your
yeah.
foot and pull it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then there was one where you could just shut it too. I mean, push it open.
Yep.
That way you weren't having to touch the bathroom door.
Apparently, you don't shop at Target.
Evidently, I did.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at Target, they actually, their door handles are hooked. So you can grab it with your arm to pull it open.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Ah.
when you have to go out it, if you have to pull it in, it's got a kick plate on the bottom that's jagged so you can grab it with your foot and pull it
Yep.
open. Now, McDonald's does one better. You ever been in a restroom in McDonald's?
Wow.
When you go out, the pull handle has a hand sanitizer in it. So when you grab the handle, you squeeze hand sanitizer in, pull it open, and rub on your way out.
I have never noticed.
Yeah.
I don't go to McDonald's.
Fancy. I do. I eat McDonald's probably 4 times a week. That's how I care for the environment.
Still alive.
I eat all the cows. Moo.
Yeah, you sure you got cow?
I don't care. They could be buying parts from body brokers for all I know. I just know it's yummy.
I don't know.
Red meat, huh?
Yeah, right. Ain't no different than going to the Chinese restaurant.
I think it's almost been a year since I ate McDonald's because the last cheeseburger I got was I don't know.
Who was it that started doing? I think it was McDonald's. They did the fresh meat instead of the pre-cooked patties. For a short while, they did it. And every time I would get one of those, because they were trying to match what Wendy's was doing, every time I'd get one, it'd be raw in the middle. I'd still eat it, just to be clear. We had Italian sausages the other night for dinner, and I took a bite into it, and I said to Alyssa, these ain't done. And she's like, oh, we'll give it back, and I'll put it back in the crock pot. I'm like, no, you won't.
Now, see, I like my hamburgers medium rare.
Oh, I like my steak to still moo. I want a hoof to still be kicking on the back of that thing.
No, thank
If it's
you.
not bleeding when I cut
Yeah.
it, send that thing back.
Yep, that's too done. That is too done.
No, thank you.
Well, it's less likely that I'll choke on it if it's still a
I
little
used
bit raw.
to go well done. I've scaled back to medium well, but it's
I'm
still
like medium.
got-
Well done?
Yeah,
I'm medium.
now.
That's like shoe leather, dude.
I don't
Yeah.
care. It's just I can't handle any.
Ooh.
There cannot be any sign of blood. In
I want mine seared, and that's about it.
Yeah, mine
Minute on
pink.
this
I
side
don't
and
want
minute
any
on that
juices
side.
on my plate.
Now, I would, like, if I get fries in a steak, like if I go to Texas Roadhouse and I get steak fries, I have to separate those because, like, when you cut it and it starts to, like,
Yeah.
make the
Seep?
plate. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want my fries to get soggy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I have to scrape those off. But,
Yeah.
Oh, I want to dip it.
Well, that's fine, but I don't want them to sit there and
Yeah.
get soggy. Like, the
Yeah.
bottom layer is wasted then.
Be just like ketchup.
Before the Tinwood Tavern burnt down, we went there for one of our Christmas parties, and I got a cheeseburger. Simple enough, right? I get it. I pick up the bun, flip the bun over. The bottom of the bun is completely red.
Ah,
Completely
yummy.
Soaked through with blood. I'm like, yep.
Yummy. That's my kind of burger, man. And I want a little piece. I want some
Horrified.
cheese on that, right? Like I want that to like just be. Oh yeah. Mhm. Yep.
Nope.
That's how I care for the environment. I eat the cows before they're fully dead. I go out and catch my own steak. I just jump on the back of the cow and gnaw on its back end.
Just trying to kick you off.
Yeah, right.
I guess it's when digging into verses for this made me think, yeah, maybe I should be recycling more.
But the problem is you can do so much when you recycle. But here's the problem with recycling for me, and I wish everybody would. And my wife she does it very well. But like you're supposed to rinse out your milk jug before you put it in the bin.
Yeah.
You're supposed to rinse out your soda cans before you put them. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? Like
Most people aren't doing that.
Right.
So most of what's being recycled is not being.
correct.
Yeah.
And so I'm told by somebody who works at the landfill that it all goes to the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there's no difference. So why do I have to separate it? Why don't you just take it and do your thing?
You need to get that for one of your sound bites.
What?
Nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. We should do that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Sounded like Shrek. You mean green pie machine? I stick with you.
Sid's watched Shrek far too many times.
Well, that and Chase saying it to Cooper all the time. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm thinking about that lady because she says, I woke up to go get a cold pop. I'm like, wait a minute, you woke up to go get a pop?
Well, I do.
That was the only reason she woke up.
Yeah, I don't anymore. Can I tell you, just as again, me doing my part for the environment, we don't buy soda at the house anymore. I don't drink Coke at home. I drink it whenever if I go out, like today I had one. I mean, I wasn't happy with it, but I had it. But I don't buy them for the house anymore. So there, I don't have to, I'm not wasting aluminum
Yeah.
anymore. I'm not sending them to the landfill dirty.
And you're cutting back on it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because like I had my one today. But remember, before I was drinking a 6-pack a day.
Have you know why you cut back on them? His Elvis suits don't fit.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Starting to get this little thing right here.
Well, they say you'll drop
Got a
6
little
to 7
hunk of
pounds
burning love
a
there.
year.
Yeah.
Remember that? If you
Yeah.
cut it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on Ozempic. Yeah. I'm just gonna figure just.
$200 a month, I can hook you up.
What's the generic?
Trizepatide.
That's not.
That's the Maduro.
That's not the word that I'm looking for.
It's the S.
Yeah. I just
I
like
told you,
saying it.
I don't use those generic names. They're too hard.
I just like saying it.
Well, you must not like it too much.
Well,
Yeah, you can't remember what it is.
semaglutide.
Semaglutide.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's a semaglutide.
That's it.
Yeah, I just like saying the word semaglutide.
Semaglutide.
Yeah, it's just fun. I also think my ketoacidosis is flaring up.
I almost texted you yesterday asking if you had something because there was an ad that came up.
Probably do.
And I was just going to be like, hey, do you have this?
Yeah, mesothelioma. It's so stupid. It is. I wish you guys could live in my head for a day. Like, you would be so frightened.
I could live. I work with you. I know. It scares me.
And sometimes I'll be sitting in my office and I'll just blurt something out, and everybody, like, you can hear the office get quiet because we all have our own separate offices, but like there's a common space in the middle, and you can hear, like, if I'm talking in my office and I say it loud enough, you can hear it in all the offices. And so I'll say something really loud, but it's just a random thought that came into my head, and it gets quiet and nobody responds. I'm like, all right, not for this crowd. Not for this crowd. Do that crap all the time. All the time.
Some of that useless knowledge that you have.
Honestly, it's the ADHD. It's an impulse control. Like, I just don't have the ability to retain the thought without saying it out loud.
So you got to blurt it out.
Yeah, I just say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if anybody responds or not. I just needed it out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Just needed it to live in the world. Semaglutide. I'm going to write a song about it.
Good luck.
Summer.
What rhymes with semaglutide? Oh, Lord.
Let us know.
Lord save us. The other...
They got that from, the gluteus muscle.
Just have AI write you a song.
So you're
Yeah.
losing.
Oh,
Am
let's
I
do that
losing
while I'm
it?
sitting here. That's while I'm sitting here.
Not that I condone it.
Chat
but
GPT.
You struck my curiosity.
Write me a song about...
This is going to be bad.
I don't know
Got
if
my
I didn't
mouth
smell semaglutide right, which, of course, I would have no idea how to spell that to begin with. So,
Well, if AI is that smart, you should know.
Oh, Lord.
oh, I spelled it right.
According to you, you spelled it right.
Okay, here we go. You ready? It's already populated
You
2
gotta
verses,
sing it.
of course. I
You
can't
gotta-
sing it. I don't know the rhythm. I'm just
Wrap it.
okay. Yeah. Do you think for a second that this dude can rap? Okay.
I think you can.
Here it is. Woke up this morning feeling kind of slow. Took a little shot. Now I'm ready to go. It's a tiny dose, but it's making me feel right. Semaglutide's got me through the night. This is not a joke. This is really happening. Craving for the sweets, but I'm stepping back. This little miracle's got me on track. This is amazing. Weight's coming off. My heart's feeling light. I'm taking control. I'm taking the fight. This is amazing. Oh, semaglutide, you're the one I trust. Helping me to shed this weight. It's a must. This is not a joke. Keep me feeling full. No more hunger fights. With you by my side, I'm taking back my life. That's verse 1 and the chorus. And we've got 3 verses. So,
Wow.
oh, there's even a bridge. This is amazing. Oh, and there's an outro too.
Wow.
I'm going to get Nicki Minaj to record this. I'm going to make a bunch of money. Look, my phone is like, dude, your heart rate's really high. You got to stop. Can you believe that just happened?
Within like 3 seconds,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Just wrote me a whole song.
Popped it right up.
Yep.
That's scary.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? It's awesome. Well, I filter everything through ChatGPT. If I'm writing a professional email that I want to make sure the thoughts are coherent and that it's like stacked properly, and that I've hit all of my bullet points, absolutely, I copy and paste it and run it through ChatGPT. Hey, make sure that this email is I forget. I have a series of filters that I run it through. Dude, that thing just pops it back out. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was listing some stuff on eBay, some baseball cards.
And AI does it all.
AI will do your
Yep.
description for you.
Yep.
And I declined.
Not me.
I'll do it.
Not me.
I just can't.
Oh, I love it.
But I thought about it. I did. I had to fight the urge not to do it.
Did
Like,
you
no.
test it? Did you test like
It's so much
try it,
better
but,
than
like,
I
you
am.
didn't
No,
post it, you know
I
what
didn't
mean?
even test it. I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not
It's
thinking,
so
I'm not
much
thinking
better.
to that level.
So much better than I am.
Then there'd be no turning back.
Yeah,
after
right.
that.
Yeah.
If I do it once.
Yep. Once you've done it.
Yeah.
Well, I think as far as the environment, I was just thinking like littering. And
Yeah, that's my big one. I
Yeah.
you live in the
Awful.
world. There's not a whole lot of
No.
things you can control,
But that is
that
one of
you
them.
can
Yeah,
control.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
especially like when I go look for beach glass, like on Lake Erie, it's terrible. I mean, I went to Euclid Beach and you couldn't. I mean, I was scared to even walk. Like
Yeah.
there were needles,
Yep.
like plastic everywhere. Now there are certain other beaches that don't look like that, but regardless, you're still going to find plastic, and you think, oh, that's a piece of beach glass. No, it's plastic. Just like so much.
I think that clean water is probably one of the things that we have to get better at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because you don't need to have any science behind that.
Yeah.
Having plastics in the water, you see those sea turtles that are stuck inside of those little pop can thingy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that stuff is real. There's physical evidence of that you can see very obviously. And I saw that they are creating these nets that they can run across streams and rivers that will catch the trash before it makes it to the ocean. And it's like 3 nets. And what happens is the first net has really wide holes. So it collects larger pieces that then they can just pull out. Then the next one gets slightly smaller. And that one they use, they have to have like a crane or something come in with a bucket and scoop it out. And then the last one is super fine. And so it's catching all of the little things. And then they have to, and I don't know if they like, pull the net up from the bottom, but they like picks it all up and then hauls it off. But
Yeah, I've seen videos on that.
it's really fascinating. But that's the stuff that like I feel like if we invest in those types of things, we'll do much better for the world than trying to find a way to generate clean energy.
Well, do you guys know like the area off of California that there's a documentary about it. There's just like this huge, I mean, I think it's like a 2-mile radius, this area in the ocean that's just garbage.
Yeah,
and like
that's terrible.
there's no resolution to
Well,
it. Like,
I saw that they were starting to use garbage barges. So like it's 2 barges again with like the nets, and then they would just on either side of those trash piles and they would just scoop it up. The problem is then they bring it out of the water, and what do you do with it?
Yeah, where you
You bury it in the ground, which is no better for the environment than
yeah.
So really, I mean, if we want to fix it, stop using plastic altogether, but good luck.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. It's not realistic.
No, it's not.
And what's going to happen is we're going to end up, how many of you have seen Wall-E? That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
We're all going to have to evacuate Earth, and we're going to live on a spaceship. We're going to be fat and lazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have cankles. Can't walk. Can't take care of ourselves. Like we're going to rely on somebody else to care for us because
we've got Ozempic.
we've got Ozempic. Yeah, but the thing is
No
your,
more cankles for us.
your body becomes what's the like you get used to it and you have to like keep upping your dosage in order to
Yes.
Yeah.
Kinda
Like
immune to
immune?
it, Yeah.
yes. I don't know that it's
Or, like,
immune
But
You build up a tolerance.
a tolerance.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So like if you're doing 10 cc's and that's dropping weight for you, like in a week you lose a pound or 3 pounds or whatever, you can't do that forever.
Right.
You eventually have to change that and go to 15 to 20 to 30 to 50. And pretty soon you're doing full syringes and it's $100 a shot rather than $100 a month. You know what I mean?
well, and at that point, like, how much is even healthy for your
Well,
body?
and that's what they said. I think the problem is now with some of those, and I don't, again, not a doctor, don't take this as medical advice, but that at some point, they don't know the long-term ramifications for using it as a weight loss drug.
Yeah.
And that like it could hurt your liver, it could hurt, like there's lots of other things that and to come off of it is even harder
Yeah.
than, so
While you're
lots of like things.
things going on.
But I think that's with any medicine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
For sure.
you don't know long-term effects until somebody has taken it long enough to know those effects. And then you find out that,
Yeah, well, sometimes those effects are worse than
Like the Lysol.
Oh, sure.
right, like the Lysol. But have you ever heard of like people who have restless leg syndrome? That's a real thing. And I'm not trying to like, but you take the medicine for it and you end up with,
Oh, yeah.
sweaty palms and diarrhea rather than just having your legs feel like they're jittery. Like there's just so many weird can cause suicidal thoughts. Why would I take this? And it's never made sense to me that like some like mood stabilizers and drugs for mental health cause suicidal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Seems counterintuitive.
Right.
But you don't know until somebody is taking it whether or not that's the case.
Right.
My dad is diabetic, and they gave him a medicine to help control it. And he called me one day and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I'm kind of worried." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I can't see anything." He's like, "My vision is completely blurry." So he went to the eye doctor and got a new pair of glasses because he thought that his eyes were just going bad. I think he was concerned that he was going blind.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out it was the freaking pill he was on.
Right. Side effect of the medicine.
So he stops taking the medicine. His vision comes back. Now he's got a pair of glasses he can't use. It's not funny, but it's like that weird.
Yeah.
Like you don't know until you're taking it, but you don't always know that that's a side effect either.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I just listened to a podcast of the 14-year-old girl that murdered her mom back in March of this year.
she's always got the weird ones.
But she was kind of having suicidal, thoughts anyway, and they put her on a mood stabilizer.
Mhm.
And what was I just going? What were you just talking about? I just blanked out. What were you just saying?
Talking about mood stabilizers and
With your
Dad's
dad.
vision.
oh, the vision, the vision,
Side effect.
the side effects. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and just that they, they were basically like, I guarantee you, they put her on a mood stabilizer, and there wasn't any notes that she was even being checked like a week
Right.
after, 3 weeks after,
Yep.
because I think it was a month after, then she snapped and killed her mom.
Yeah.
But once again, this goes back to
Oh, I know.
our
mental
health
Yeah.
system.
and all the
They
systems.
put these people, they're in the
Mhm.
hospital, they got suicide ideations.
Mhm.
They put them in the hospital, they put them on a new med, send them home in 4 days. They don't keep them in there long enough
Nope.
to see if the med's
Nope.
going
Right.
to work or not.
Nope.
Let alone, did we set them up with
Counseling
counseling or a
Like,
follow-up
yes,
appointment?
follow-up
Yeah.
things.
And now here's the thing: you can't be responsible for those people. You set up the follow-up appointment; they never
And
show
they
up.
don't go.
right,
You
right.
you can't be responsible for that. But the fact that we likely have done nothing is quite embarrassing to me.
Yeah.
Like that's the sad part, really.
And I see that a lot.
I'm
'Cause
sure.
That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
first thing. They send them to the hospitals in Columbus and here and there, and okay, you're sending them home. You're going to send them up with their PCP, but did you get them established with, a psychiatrist
Nope.
or a psychologist in this area? Well, no, we thought you could do that. No, because for a PCP to make a referral, you're talking 3 months for them to get in.
Mhm.
If you make that referral, you can at least get them in within 2 weeks.
and even that, 2 weeks is
Yeah,
a
it's
while
too long.
for
Mhm.
mental health.
Exactly.
2 weeks can
Yep.
feel like hell when it's
Right.
comes
Yes.
to mental health
Mhm.
for the person and the family
Mhm.
members.
It was weird. Our last episode wasn't published, but 10 people listened to it. It's weird.
What do you mean it wasn't
It,
published?
like when I clicked on it, it said that it hadn't been published. But 10 people have downloaded it.
Well, I listened to it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So I'm wondering if it just like you had to have the link to listen to
Well, I found it on Spotify. What was our last episode with the
it. Miracles come true in your life.
Oh,
Because Tanya had messaged me and said that she hadn't seen us on Apple
mm-hmm.
Podcasts for a couple of weeks, which one week we weren't here, but
Mm-hmm.
that may be why she couldn't find it. It may not have
I
pushed.
think
to all of
Margie
the
said
places.
she couldn't find it on Spotify
Yeah, see, that's weird. That's probably my fault.
because she doesn't like the Buzzsprout because when she, for whatever
It closes
It
and
closes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
like
yeah,
that
shuts off.
either.
every 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's because that's through a browser. It's not like the app.
That's
so.
how Patreon is too.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. For me, it is. It's because it's like a YouTube video. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anywho. See, that's that, like, I did it twice. That's that weird thing in my head that I cannot control. I'll catch myself doing that stuff. It drives me nuts after I realize that I've done it.
Maybe you need another Red Bull.
I don't drink Red. Roger, could you imagine? My heart would explode. My body couldn't handle that.
Say everybody can drink that stuff.
Yeah.
Chase drinks.
Smells like cat pee.
Chase
Yeah.
drinks a small one every morning,
Ugh.
but it's
Good for him.
the sugar.
I don't
free.
know how he does
But
it.
he's not a coffee drinker,
So-
so he needs something.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's got something.
Yeah.
Mine used to be a large McDonald's Coke on my way to work every morning. When it was $1. I won't pay $1.29 for it. That's stupid.
Yeah, and you get more ice.
Yeah, right.
Right, yes.
Yeah. I would pay, seriously, every
Light
morning.
ice. You'd have to order light ice.
Every
Red
morning
light.
I'd swing through the drive-thru and I would get myself a large Coke, and that was just my life. Just living on large Cokes.
Living lavishly on large Coke.
And that's what I would have for lunch. Like, that would be my lunch. It'd be a liquid lunch. Just grab a large Coke.
See,
Oh,
I like my Pepsi, but I limit it to I buy one at work at lunchtime. And
See, that's mean. That's like a taste. A can, to me, is worthless. That's a taste. My wife, she'll get a can and it'll last her all day. That's 3 drinks for me.
Sometimes I can't even finish a can.
What?
Yeah.
How? That's seriously, it's 3 drinks for me. And
I
it's
get
gone.
yelled at all the
and
time
buy
because I
like
don't
the
finish it.
bottle. Like what is those? What are
20-ounce bottle?
20 ounce.
No.
And I can make it last 2 days.
No. It's flat. That's gross. Throw it away.
Actually,
It's
if I
not
put it in
flat.
ice in a cup, I'll usually finish it pretty quick. But just drinking out of the can, I always leave some in there. And Margie's always like, "You didn't finish yet."
I had a bad habit when I was buying it at the house, which is really why I stopped buying it, is I would open one and I would drink it. And then I'd sit it down somewhere and I'd forget where it was at. So I'd go get another one and then I'd have like 4 cans. My wife would collect them and they would sit on the counter and I would
with water
be
bottles.
over there drinking them to finish them all
Oh
off.
my gosh, that sounds like me when I used to smoke. I'd have one lit in the ashtray in the living room. I'd go in the kitchen, like, where's my cigarettes? I'd just
Light another one.
I go back in the living room, there's another one.
Now I got them both in, yeah.
Now she's got 4 lit in the house, and it's a wonder she has a house.
It was bad. You got to remember, I used to smoke, 3 packs a day?
Oh my Lord. At my highest height, I was only a half a pack a day. I can't imagine smoking 3 packs a day. The cost. That's $15 a day back in the day
Yeah.
at $5 a pack.
Oh,
So-
you want to talk about littering?
Yeah. Cigarette butts
Oh,
everywhere.
And that
Yeah.
has to
Yeah.
be on.
Yeah.
But if you've ever seen Biodome, again, for Christians, probably shouldn't watch it. But if,
Sure.
with Pauly Shore, yes. They saved the Biodome with the cigarette filters.
Oh.
Yay. I don't remember that part, but
What?
It's been a long time.
Dude. You know another movie I just watched the other day? Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh my god.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
What? It was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
He stuffed the babysitter in a trunk, dropped her off at the funeral home.
Sounds like Cat in the Hat when they stuffed the old lady in the trunk.
Kind of what this was like.
Yeah.
Like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Like, how did they make 2 of those?
Right. Yeah. The first one wasn't all that great yet. We managed to make a second one. And although, just for those of us who are in the right age group, our powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Do you remember that
Oh,
show?
yes.
Like that was the show when we were growing up. You don't remember Captain Planet? Ask Chase, guaranteed he remembers Captain
I
Planet.
was outside playing. I was not watching TV.
Well,
Played too.
Saturday morning cartoons
not-
were all we were like,
Yeah.
and Captain Planet was on, and they each had their own special like
Mm-hmm.
individual power, but it was all about saving the planet. It didn't work. None of us like.
But you're
No.
saying you're Captain Planet.
No, that was the slogan from the
Okay,
show.
okay,
It's
okay,
Our
gotcha.
powers combined. I am
Oh,
Captain Planet. That was the
okay.
slogan from the show.
Sorry.
But
Well, I mean, don't say it didn't work though. I mean, I'm sure up here it's stuck with us to where like, yeah, we're not going to throw our candy bar wrapper out the window. We're not. There's certain things we're just not going to do.
Turn the light off when you leave the room.
you think that worked?
I think so.
Okay,
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna let you believe that.
I think it was a building block.
Okay, I'm gonna let you believe that.
it could be certain like how we're like different learners, you know, like your visual.
I'm not
Maybe it's
disagreeing
aware.
with
Maybe
that.
it just
I'm not
is.
Just aware.
I'm not disagreeing with that. All I'm saying is that like all it was, in my opinion, growing up, having watched it, was competition for He-Man,
Yeah.
which it could never measure up because He-Man was always better.
Yeah.
Like that flat out, He-Man was always, but that was like comparing WWF and WCW. There was no comparison, right? Right. So my point is that like while we got some of that, it was really more about beating up bad guys.
Yeah.
They were just like dumping toxic chemicals
Hey.
into the ocean.
But you know what? He-Man always had a good message at the end. G.I. Joe always
I
had a
know
good
that.
message at the end. So, like I said, building blocks.
Mhm.
I think
So
it did
maybe
good.
more
I mean,
people
it
need
goes
to
better than
watch-
what these kids are watching now.
That's
They
what I
don't
was-
get any kind
That's
of
what I was going to say.
guidance.
Yeah. My kids are watching
I mean, I think even like,
Avatar.
I was telling my wife the other day, I said, it's a shame there's no more sitcoms anymore. That because even those sitcoms, they always had like a lesson.
Yeah. There was always a close to the end of the show with some sentimental
And
moment.
you don't get that anymore.
Do you remember TGIF?
Yeah,
I think it was on
absolutely.
ABC. So you had Step by Step, Family Matters,
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. There was another show that was always really popular on there too, but I can't remember what it is.
Sid hangs with
Oh,
Mr. Cooper every day.
Boy Meets World.
Do.
Yeah.
Like so many of those shows in the 90s that were like
Full House.
Full House
Yeah.
that had lessons in
Yeah.
all of them. And now it's TV is entertainment. Like we want blood, guts, and gore. We want as much violence and vulgar language as we can get
Mhm.
because we've become desensitized to the everyday life. We live that. We don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Now we want to see violence.
Or
Yes,
the comedy
does,
is
does
just really-
everybody live the same type of life?
No.
Mm-mm.
So then those sitcoms they could help someone.
Well, yeah, but they don't make them anymore.
No.
Mm-mm.
And even if you were to watch the reruns, they're impossible to find.
Mhm.
And also, again, because we can binge watch anything in the world, you can be done with the whole series of Family Matters in a weekend's
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're watching Frasier right now.
So I was never a big Frasier fan. Never really.
Pretty good.
Seinfeld I could watch a million times over, but
Yeah.
Frasier is just never.
I like George.
I like Cheers. I watched all of Cheers.
was good. Yeah.
Norm.
You know, at one time I felt like Norm. Always at the bar.
Well, I was going to say I kind of feel like Norm because when I go somewhere, everybody knows me. Like my wife's like, I don't even want to go in the store with you.
And you
My
could
couch
be
faces.
Cliff. He was the mailman.
Perfect.
Although,
With
as a,
body parts?
as a side note,
No,
Cliff-
I never brought that up.
Cliff, I think, had a drinking problem.
Man.
You think?
Do you remember the one where they had the hat and I don't remember the other guy that was in it, but Cliff, like they were making a bet on whether or not they could drink the drink under the hat without picking up the hat.
No.
Okay, well, if you ever find that one, it's a good one. That was one of my favorites. Tricks him into getting 2 shots for nothing. Pretty funny.
I thought when you said you feel like Norm, I thought you meant normal.
No. No. Ain't never felt normal a day in my life.
Nope. Not on this podcast.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
You can't be normal and sit in this room.
No.
Agreed.
It's impossible.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Nope.
It's only been an hour and 20 minutes, guys.
Oh, we're slacking.
I know.
Right?
It's a short one. They can skip through the first, 20 minutes of this. And
25 probably.
Yeah, 25 minutes and really not miss anything. So
I
Ben?
don't think we really touched a whole lot on this subject.
Well, we did in a roundabout way.
yeah.
I guess.
Well,
We answered the
luckily-
question without answering the
It's
question.
a subject that has very easy answers,
Yeah.
but
But
very,
very
difficult
complex
to,
too.
And no,
follow through with. And
there's not going to be a whole lot of agreement on it. There are some people who think that we could do everything in our power to save the planet. When you start buying into, our country is paying into, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
They have some climate change group that
Yeah.
we're sending billions of dollars over there to buy into this group, but we're really not seeing any results. We're doing a lot of research. Yep, it's windy out. Like I
Yep.
can do that on my own. Like it just,
Yeah.
but again, that's my opinion, and I don't really see how it's super fruitful for the world.
Want to be
well, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm sure when we invented the smokestack, and people went, oh, man, should we really be doing this? But people are like, oh, no, we're going to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're doing it anyway.
It's the only way we're going to make a living. It's
Mm-hmm.
we might.
Do you
be able
think?
to-
Do you think there were people that were saying, "Should we really be doing this?"
I hope.
I see. My thought is
I don't
they were
think
like,
so.
no, because they didn't
I don't think
know.
at that time.
They wouldn't have even
You
been.
don't think people knew?
Mm-mm.
No, because they were thinking, oh
Like,
man,
wow,
this
look
is
at that black smoke rolling through.
well, but you don't realize back then they didn't realize the vastness of the universe or like the solar like they didn't fully
They didn't
understand
understand how air.
right
Yeah,
like air
works
pollution and
and-
things like that. Like that didn't come along till much later. Like think about the Industrial Revolution when they were
Mhm.
like
That's what I'm saying.
like
Yeah,
they weren't
I mean,
thinking about. I wouldn't think that they were thinking that you might have had that handful of people who were adamantly opposed to it, but where are they now?
well, but
Buried under a
but
train
then
track
again,
somewhere because
a
choo
lot
choo.
of a lot of the people that were
Or planted back as a tree.
Yes.
were being employed to work in those places were getting paid very low wages, and nobody wanted to do those jobs because of like
That's
probably
true.
get sick and
The health
die
concerns.
working
Yeah.
on
Okay,
place.
but it's the same with mining coal.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like there were people dying every day. They'd come out with black lung because they'd be in there.
But did
Mhm.
anybody say, okay, we're going to quit doing that?
No.
This is just not.
No.
No, they were like, it's making money.
They're like, finally, it's something that's
Cha-ching,
making money.
cha-ching.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is the people who mined the coal never made money. They
No.
went into the job
No.
poor, came out of the job poor.
The people that actually did the work were always
Yep.
poor.
You owed everything to the company store.
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah. So,
I'm not going to sing it. I'm not
I
going to
was
sing it.
waiting.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Not falling for it. I know you're trapped. I know you're trapped. Okay. Anything else? My phone's telling me it's bedtime.
Well, you still have a visit tonight.
I know, but I'm just saying that my phone's like, hey, it's 7:35. You should be winding down for bed.
winding down.
I can't believe my wife outed me at church last Sunday about that. I was like, that
What'd
was
she
rude.
say?
So I've got my phone set up to my watch, and so it knows when my normal bedtime
Right,
is. And
yeah.
things like that. So at 7:15 every night, my watch goes, "Hey, it's almost bedtime.
Yeah.
You should start winding down. Turn off your electronics. Blah blah blah." Because I go to bed at 8 o'clock. So I was talking about sometimes us old people have to get out of the way, and she's like, "Yeah, talk about old. Go to bed at 8 o'clock." So
It's fine. It's funny. My friend, same thing with her. Like, if I text, and I normally don't get back with someone until like when I text you guys about things, it's normally 9:30 or something. I'm the same with everyone, and I'll text her at like 8:20, and it's like her
Notifications are silenced.
notifications are silenced. However, she works Monday through Thursday, like 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. You know, so she's got long hours.
Those easy hours.
Yeah, but well, and also she wakes up at 4:30 and runs.
Yeah. Well, I don't do
5
that.
to
Oh, well,
6.
that's her problem.
Yeah. I wake up at 5. I run my mouth, but I do get up early.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm at work at 5:30, so
Yeah.
I'm usually like that early morning time that's my devotion time. That's my my me time. I get up and I check any work stuff from the night before that needs to be dealt with before I ever get in the car and leave for work. So, because I have to get that done before I get in the car, because then Beth calls me.
Well, no, Beth, don't call because he don't answer.
45-minute drive talking to Beth.
you text him, don't you?
I didn't work
Phone and
today.
text.
That's why I didn't take your call. I was having internet installed at the Denison gazebo, so it was with the tech. And then, frankly, until I saw your face, forgot you had even called me.
Well, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I think you
Forget
need to get you Libby on your phone instead of listening to podcasts. or
Libby,
listening
the
to
audiobooks?
Yeah.
Oh my
I can't, it doesn't keep my attention. I can't. And maybe if I wasn't like multitasking and delivering mail and looking out of 3 different, but I have to really focus when they're reading, and I can't do that.
Yeah, because
It's
a
not an
podcast is
easy
conversational,
listen.
and like I can find myself invested in the conversation. An audiobook, it's very
I wish I
monotonous.
could. I really do, but
very
I can't.
monotonous.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, this last one I listened to, actually, it's almost because it's just 2 guys talking. It's a documentary, Under the Overpass. It's really good about 2 college boys that took 4 months and lived as homeless.
oh,
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
If you want an audiobook that you can listen to, Sid, by the way,
yeah.
Jeanette McCurdy, I'm Glad My Mom is
Yeah,
Dead.
I know. I need to.
It is amazing. So good.
It's been on my
I have a thing
to-do
with that.
list.
I'm telling you, it's a great book.
Yeah.
I'll give you my Audible login and you can listen to it on my account.
Perfect.
That way you don't have to buy it.
Yeah. Well,
Nothing? That's it?
That's it.
That's the end of the show? All right. Who wants to pray tonight?
No.
Nobody? Nobody? Nick, it's your turn tonight.
All right. Lord, thank you for bringing us here together tonight. We just pray that no matter what topic that we're discussing, as much of a good time as we have with each other and enjoying each other's company, having plenty of laughs, that we do focus on the subject, that we do care about what we're trying to bring to other people. And even it's when a difficult topic like this, talking about the environment, because we don't always know the answers and we always may feel like it's beyond our control. But always just help each and every one of us do as much as we can to take care of the planet that you've made for us, to do the right things, and to always just be mindful of the fact that this is the only home you have gave us.
yes.
So I just pray all these things in your precious name. I pray that everybody gets home safe, and I pray that we get to come back here next week. Amen.
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 Hey friends, Pastor Michael again. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you should consider joining us on Sunday mornings. Our address is 1943 North Water Street Extension in Yerkesville. We'd love to have you join us for an in-person service.